digging this, man. It's towards the end of summer, a few days before my birthday, and I'm at Haeundae Beach in Busan for the second time this summer. I just wish I could stay here more than one day this time, but I'm trying to save some cash. So, yeah, I just thought I'd check in. I hadn't done a podcast in a while. Not really going to say a whole lot. But I know people kind of been wanting me to say more and, and stay in touch since I've been in Korea. Been here about 3 months now. And honestly, I'm still adjusting. It's kind of tough. When you leave everything and everybody behind, you go to a foreign country. I'm finally feeling more comfortable teaching at ESL at my Hagwon now. It's, I think the hardest part of the learning curve for me was just getting used to the different culture of education and really having to slow down my speech, having to quit using big words and vocabulary that's hard for beginning and intermediate English learners to catch on to. And just getting used to all the cultural differences. Korean students, Koreans in general, are not as outgoing and they're not as loud. Definitely not as vocal as Americans. And as maybe some other people from the West. So, I think they tend to be more introverted, but also the education culture is different. I think Asian students are taught to respect authority a lot more, whereas in the West we question authority. So just trying to get used to all those changes. It has been a big adjustment. And everyone's, my first few weeks of school, everyone said I spoke too fast. And I guess I made some students cry, apparently. Not intentionally, of course. But just because they couldn't understand me. So it's a bigger adjustment than what you think. Even when you taught for 2.5 years, like I had before I came here. I hadn't really taught ESL before, other than doing some tutoring with a couple of local immigrants that are just basically bettering their English skills. Just that tutoring is the only ESL work I'd done, other than taking my TEFL course and getting English as a foreign language certified. So I can come over here and teach. But anyway, yeah, just having a great time. Look at the scene here. Woo! People are really enjoying it. I've been out swimming. I think I'm going to get a little color today. Might get a little burnt, but that's okay. Let's see, a couple things I wanted to touch base on. I think there's a lot more to be said about Korea, obviously, and probably we'll have a podcast or two about teaching ESL and what it's like living in Korea at some point. But I've only been here 3 months, so I'm still just soaking it in, still adjusting, and really need to find the time to learn more Korean as well. It's just so hard when I work as much as I do. I've been putting in 50-hour work weeks here usually, man. Teachers, they work long hours. I love it, but it's hard work, and a lot of long hours. Don't really get paid the way we should for all the hours and all the work that we put in. But hey, that's just the way it is. I guess we do it because it's our passion. We love it. Teaching's a lot more of a calling than it is a job. But anyway, a couple things. I guess to speak a little bit on Trump, all the stuff that's going on back home. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious the guy's a little, he acts unstable at times, and, like he's not all there. And, I mean, come on, we knew that about Trump before we elected him. So I guess voters should have kept that in mind when they went to the polls last November. It's been incredibly, it's been the chaos presidency for the past 8 months, and I'm not really sold on all the Russian stuff. I still think a lot of that is Democrats and Clinton apologists just blowing smoke out their ass. They're very butthurt and very upset that they got it so wrong and that she lost the election. And a lot of people still haven't gotten over that. So, what can you say? But I don't think there's strong links between the Russians and as far as hacking the election, changing the results at all. I mean, give me a break. The Clinton campaign didn't spend any time in Michigan. They didn't spend any time in Wisconsin. They didn't spend any time in my home state of Indiana. How in the hell do you lose Pennsylvania? I think Hillary's the first Democrat run for president to lose Pennsylvania in, 30 years or something? Maybe even longer than that. I mean, it's just astounding. Since Reagan in 1980, which was a landslide, I think was the last time a Republican had won Pennsylvania. It's been a long damn time. 35 years, 36 years. So, she just ran a lousy campaign. And, then she goes out and picks basically a pretty conservative, very conservative Democrat that supported crummy right to work for less law in Virginia, Tim Kaine. I mean, after all the cheating and voter suppression and the shit that we saw in the primaries, just Bernie people basically just having their voices snuffed out, and never, after that, a lot of us never got on board with the Democrats again, and we may never get back on board with them again. I'm an independent, always have been, but I lean more towards Democrats. But at this point, I'm ready to leave that party far behind. I don't think we can reform it. It's time for a People's Party. I'm hoping you can hear me right now. I got a couple girls taking photos or something over my left shoulder, so you might be hearing them. But the beautiful girls love to come to the beach and take selfies. So I've been taking some photos, taking some pictures today as well. Why not? End of summer. My birthday's in a couple days. Give me a break. She was an elitist. All these millionaires work in the media, corporate media. A lot of them are lousy journalists. Let's just face it, they are. It's one of the reasons that there's such a ridiculous gulf between the haves and the have-nots in America, because the journalists haven't done their jobs and they've been co-opted and brought into the corporate establishment, and a lot of them are just paid off, quite frankly. I mean, the kind of journalism you see on major networks, whether it's CNN, MSNBC, or Fox, any of them that's worth a damn. I like RT. The journalism on RT, I think they're more independent and better, more objective than the shit on those other three networks, whether they lean left or right. Why do we have to have a bias on cable news? It makes no sense. CNN was the Clinton News Network last year. But anyway, Trump, he's a real piece of work, isn't he? But we're stuck with him, at least for the time being. And people want to impeach for stupid reasons and whatnot. And I'm sorry. They need to get back to reality. It's probably not going to happen. Whether the guy lasts, his full first term or not, I honestly, the way things have been going lately, all the people have resigned and people he's canned, I don't think he's going to last, to be honest. Saying that some of the Nazis in Charlottesville are good people, and that crazy kid ran down all those people with his car and killed a woman. Give me a break. But Trump's more of a symptom of the disease than anything. He's not, the problems did not begin with Trump. They're not going to end with him. If you get him out, then we're stuck with Mike Pence, far-right Christian creep, big hypocrite, doesn't have any respect for women's rights or women's bodies, or gay rights or workers' rights, or a whole host of other things. So I almost think that with Trump in there, you know, it's nuts. I mean, it's a train wreck, right? But not much is getting passed, not much is getting done. The Trump care got shot down. It just goes to show he's so arrogant and stupid, doesn't know how to run government. You know, he's been in business his whole life and used to calling all the shots and, you know, being like a dictator. That you just can't run government like that. It's not the way it works. And he doesn't even get along with the Republicans. So Trump care went down. The two women senators, women Republicans, Collins and Murkowski, I think, from Alaska, and then John McCain, of course, was the deciding vote to vote that down. But he hasn't got much of anything else passed either. And the one good thing Trump has done is torpedo the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which would have been the worst trade deal in American history. It would have been the absolute cherry on top of the cake of all the bad trade deals, job-killing trade deals we've had. So I'm actually glad that he killed that. That's one good thing that Donald Trump has done. He's absolutely right. He's in agreement with every labor union in America that TPP needed to die, and so I'm glad that that's gone away. But really, folks, if we get rid of crazy man Trump, and yeah, I don't like all his Twitter rants and all that bullshit either. I mean, what's the President of the United States even doing with a Twitter account? It's ridiculous. He needs to act like a leader. He needs to act presidential. But the guy's just going to keep doing whatever the hell he wants. And I don't think he takes advice well, obviously. And he tends to surround himself with people who tell him what he wants to hear. I guess that's the way a lot of billionaires and powerful people are. I think Hillary, not any damn different. You know, she had crummy advisors. That's why they ran such a horrible rate. That and the fact she's just not a good natural politician, not a good speaker. I still think Bernie Sanders would have beaten Donald Trump by a country mile. If you look at all those head-to-head polls, he was up double digits for the longest time, and in hypothetical head-to-head matchups, whether it was Donald Trump or any other Republican candidate. So, you know, if Bernie had won the primary, he would have been a much stronger candidate. He would have got the young people out to vote, independents, and got a lot of those white working class union members, people who are traditionally allied with blue-collar workers and unions. We would have gotten a lot of them to come home and vote blue. But having stuck with the oligarch puppet Hillary and all of her baggage, you know, the email scandal and the pay-to-play, and you know, Bill Clinton's baggage from the 90s, and it, you know, goes on and on. Their 30 years support of job-killing trade deals, and that's how they enriched themselves, was taking bribes from these big companies and supporting things like free trade. That's who the Clintons are, you know. People are just tired of that. So now I got a lifeguard blowing a whistle in front of me. I don't know how good the audio is on this, but let's see what else. I don't know, man. I'm just enjoying a day at the beach. Thought I'd chime in a bit.